Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for week 31, day 3. It is Wednesday, August 3rd, 2016. As always, we seek financial advising when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. Support your knowledge in the market, see what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan, and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, jumping into the daily results as the week picking up in the setups today. Again, very choppy section, even choppy trading session today, even though the trend ended up being to the long side. Nothing smooth with econ data coming out this morning. Mortgage applications in the negative, even though an increase from last number, still downside. ADP employment, ISM kind of mixed, and crude positive number, but decrease from the last number. All right, as we take a look at the stats for today, 172 ticks across the board. NQ, most of those setups in the AM session. YM and ES1 towards the latter part of the session. Let's take a look at the overall session. Trend session there for the AM really got that lift back upside, and price action just running away, just looking for scalp opportunities. That's really what the session was about. AD line, again, pretty strong to the upside here on a, I believe I had a 3-minute chart here, and you can see price action just holding nicely above that 10 EMA, so another market internal to keep you in the trend. All right, take a look at the big picture on the ES, just a couple scalp entries. Again, he had to deal with Globex and 25-minute open ranges. High mixed in here, which kept you out of some of these signals. Just looking, as long as you had market internals mostly to the upside, that was the highest probability. Again, here was the market open. Again, the trend indicator was sell short at the beginning, but end up chopping our way upside today with several opportunities. Again, we were dealing with some of those significant lines that might have just held you off from taking the long entry on some of these buy signals to the upside, and towards the latter part of the afternoon got in a last setup. All right, taking a look at the NQ. NQ here, price action on the upside. Nice move here. Again, another buy signal upside, and pretty much left the rest of the session quiet as price action came down underneath the T350. But then look at those last two rows, all in the green. So left that alone until the very end. And again, there was the buy signal upside right at the Globex high. Waited for the breakout of the 25-minute open range high. We had a long entry for just a couple ticks. Again, trade management mindset was in and out today. 2 contracts. That's all you had to do to build up a little bit. But again, that's more obviously setups for the week. Again, YM pretty much afternoon session, just let it go. Yeah, you did have a buy signal here towards the end. Not really moving much. Very choppy action. Just let that one go. Look good here, right? Buy signal, 5 charts in the green. Again, this was already, it was 25-minute open ranges, Globex highs dealing with, as well as the tick count. If tick count wasn't there to put you in the trade, you just left it out. Could have taken the early entry if you wanted. Again, you had to set up here, set up here. This one obviously would not have worked out. But after having all 5 charts in the green and you just have a small pullback, again, re-entry, in and out. That was the scalp mentality there. And again, breakout of the Globex high. All right, let's take a look at the charts. There's price action on the 5-minute charts. Keeping to the 25-minute open range here on the crude for a good part of the AM session. Just breaking out a little bit above. Finally gave way after breaking that trend that we've had so much downside action. Breaking up to yesterday's high. That's where the resistance was. Take a look across at the 3 indices. Same picture. A lot of chop action here around the 25-minute open range high on the ES. And again, the YM holding in between the 1-hour open range and the 25-minute open range chop here. Daily gap here right in the center. Dip below that for just a little bit and pop back up. Again, same picture here on the NQ. Not really moving anywhere, making it difficult anyway to trade on a 5-minute chart, but that's why we use the range charts every single day. How do we do on the fib projection levels today? Got to call it a flat. Not anywhere near the high or anywhere near the low, pretty much in the center there. So staying away from the fib targets, both upside and downside for today's price action. Take a look at the daily gaps. Again, we've seen the turnaround on the YM come down off the highs as our next daily gap. We've closed out already a daily gap upside. Next migration down 18.079 as the NQ still holding at all-time high zone up here in that gap. So next one down at 46.1075 crude before we actually go down to 37.90, getting a little bit of bounce today. and ES to the downside here at 2136.75. So want to keep those in mind. If we have a turnaround in trend and we're below the moving averages on a 4-hour chart, we look to the daily 50 MA and we look to the open gaps as our next level, including any VPOCs across the board. As we could see, plenty of VPOCs downside as well as to the upside, which means at some point market action will return up there and close those out. But right now, very nice profile on the NQ today. Very nice balanced trading. Again, we had 70% of the trading range. Love it versus the TPOC. Shows you where volume was at a certain given price versus time. You have outliers upside, outliers downside, and you have a POC, which is the mean trading. You can see ES for the most part on any daily chart right now has just been sliding sideways, just taking care of business every day by closing out VPOCs and representing 70% of the day's trading. All right, let's jump right into the daily trend as we do each day. Take a look at some of the charts. Let's go back to the crude here as crude got a nice lift. Again, using the T3 strategy. Here we are, buy signal upside. This is, again, EIA report, so it gets a little choppy in some of these numbers. This is all EIA report right here. But again, you're waiting pre-session. Maybe you took an early trade there, but once things settle a little bit, there was the action about an hour later. Buy signal upside above the T350. That's the gold standard entry right there. That's what you would love to wait for every day. 1 to 2 setups that look exactly like that as we see another buy signal upside here as market starts to close out the day session. But there it is, buy signal upside, 5 charts in the green. Nice move to the upside. Take a look at the YM. YM again across the board. Price action very choppy. And there was what I was talking about, that Globex high, London high, and throw in a 25-minute open range high. You had plenty of resistance to maybe hesitate on some of the setups. Again, not bad setup overnight session. Sell signal without the market internals of the U.S. regular trading hours. Nice move to the downside. Sell signal with 5 charts in the red. Stopped you out. Wait for another entry. Would have gotten here at market session open. Buy signal to the upside. And bang. There you go. You had 2 entries or you managed it. Just moved your stop up a little bit. Either way, however you manage your trade, the rest of the session just had nothing going. Again, there's that buy signal that you might have entered. Maybe you took a loss on it. That's trading. But again, at this point, I was watching some other significant levels and the tick count as well. It just hesitated on the YM. Take a look at the NQ again across the board on the NQ price action here. Lift up above the T350. Again, dealing with a lot of those key lines, key levels that I like to watch with trend. But again, buy signal back upside, gave you an entry. And by this point, price action just chopped out the rest of the session, gave you another opportunity upside. But we did have the Globex high here, 25-minute open range here up here at, I believe it was 47.2050 or 21.50, and then you entered. Either way, nice move at the end. Take a look at the ES. Again, price action on the ES, same picture as we held within the range. Globex high to midnight open. Never really touching the lows of the session. Just continue to make higher lows throughout. And so overall trend for the day to the upside. Again, look at those market internals. For the most part, we're in the green for the day. 50 above 144. And that keeps you in the entries. Anything above the T350 look like a good setup. All right, taking a look at the gold. The gold, again, very chop overnight session. Finally gave way. 2 charts in the red, 50 below 144 finally underneath the Globex low here. It gave you an entry to the downside, so nice ride down on the gold. And then take a look at the 6E, probably the smoothest of the bunch. Look at that, overnight session, sell signal, 2 charts. Best entry here at U.S. regular trading open, sell signal downside. Overnight session was pretty quiet after especially that run yesterday, but sell signal downside, 5 charts in the red. That's what you're looking for. Again, Euro not in any way relying on the market internals of the NYSE tick or the AD line. Just stands alone. That's why we use those multiple moving averages. What am I talking about? I'm taking a look at, for an example, if you take a look at the NQ, we have the 2 longer trend charts up here, including the 534 over here and including the 5144. These 4 charts represented on these 4 charts downside. That's all you need. Now, the tick count is nice. It's an additional market internal, but when you have all in trend, that's what you're looking for, and that's exactly what you have. Is it the minimum to have all of? No. The minimum is at least 2 charts with price action either above or below the 5144, which is chart number 3, the strategy that we use here in the trading room. All right, taking a look ahead as we move into tomorrow. Let's open up that crude chart. Again, the crude still maintaining that downward trend, getting a little bit of a pullback here today as the daily chart plays around underneath the 200 period moving average. Volume pretty good today. Price action to the downside and this continued trend that we've been talking about for crude for some time. Take a look at the ETF here in a little bit. Price action on the three indices as we head into tomorrow, still holding above the 50 and 200. Hey, Jedi traders, I can't call it any day, which tell you that tomorrow the likelihood is that will continue in a certain way. Well, I could say, look, the current momentum and trend is this way, but I can't tell you where the market's going tomorrow. Got to watch the charts every day. As you can see, you can always have a setup in both directions. But current trend, price action is pulling back to the 50 as we migrate closer with volume under average today. But I look to the 4-hour chart first. 4-hour chart, higher time frame with the daily to see where current trend is. I'm in an uptrend on the daily. 4-hour chart is in a pullback, but finding support here at not only the 50 and the 144 EMAs on the ES and the YM, but I will look at the T350 as the ES and YM still hunting on under. So let's take this one at a time. NQ, big picture upside, holding downside on the NQ. On a pullback, even though uptrend all across the board, that's the green color background. Pullback here, find support at the 50. Still, T310 is in the red here, so I see still the downtrend on the T3 moving averages. If the T350 holds here and price action pulls back down, then I look for the 50 once again. If I break the 50 EMA, I'm now holding underneath the T350. Yes, it will take some time for the 50 to cross the 144, which is where? Well, it's all the way down there, down at 46.29. So how do I splice into a short entry on a longer term? Well, once this T3 moving averages comes down underneath the 50 EMA, then what I look for is the 144 is the next level down, including any open gaps, including the 50 EMA on the daily. ES, downside underneath the T350. T3 moving averages in a downtrend pullback, found resistance at the 144. In a better position to move short now is the ES if it can continue to move downside. If it moves and migrates back upside, then we continue the uptrend holding above the 50 and the 200. Same picture on the YM. As we continue this price action on the futures, so again, got to be ready every day to be ready in both directions. Again, like I said, price action can easily just continue to pull back up, and I'll look for that resistance at the 50 EMA. Just like today, I look downside, I see where price action might hold on one of the moving averages. If in a trend and price action hits one of those lines, you may consider bailing. That's the only way to look at it. Again, if you're looking at ETFs, you want the highest probability entry that you're going to continue downside, and that's what we'll take a look at here. Taking a look at the VIX here as the T3 moving averages are holding down at the lows. Looking at that caution level of line number 12 there. Watch for the sell signal in the market. We talked about this a couple days ago as price action again was, or actually yesterday, a couple days ago. Price action here at the 144. Didn't exactly hit it, but a little bit of resistance and price action coming back downwards. Again, we want to get out of this. We either want to get back down to 12 or we want to break above the 144 here, which will indicate that the market will be selling off at that point. Again, if you're interested in trading the VIX, you can always take a look at the VXX, and that would be the ETF, which is currently moving to the downside. Again, every opportunity is on a pullback is another opportunity to splice into what we have is a long-term trend here. Take a look at the weekly chart, which has been downside with the daily chart. Again, pullback opportunities. 4-hour chart, which has been for some time here after a pullback back in the end of June. And then so you have your big picture over here and your intraday, which is 100 tick, 150, and 200. So once price action pushed up above and then back down on all three charts, as you can see back here, which was last week, even though you might have missed the entry back here in the end of June, this is an opportunity as each continued pullback occurs. So right here on the VIX, last week, pullback upside, price action came down. And then that gives you an opportunity to splice into the VIX to the downside. Now, at this point, current trend momentum still remains downside. So if you're on this, continue on it until you see the intraday change trend. That might be an opportunity for you to splice out of the trade. However, if 4-hour chart continues to hold below the 50 EMA here, then that's an opportunity. Even if you have a pullback on the left-hand side charts, The XX downside, watch that resistance on the 4-hour chart. So my current momentum downtrend is on the VIX. Take a look at the 10-year bond here on the charts in a big time frame is to the upside. Again, we found that the 4-hour chart is finding some resistance support to the upside here on the 144. So again, if you're trying to splice into the long-term trade, we do have an open gap upside here at 139.61. Again, 200 tick chart is having a challenge of a time to break above the T350. So until we break back up above the T350, show some solid Heikin Ashi bars tails up there, including the smaller time frame, the 100 tick. We're looking for a move exactly like this that you saw here last week to splice into a bigger picture time frame, which will then, if on the intraday on the left hand side, if the T3 moving averages move back upside, break above the T350 or on the 200 and the 150, that will lift that 4-hour chart. That will be the indicator that we move upside, close that gap, and bonds will continue upside. Take a look at emerging markets. As emerging markets still holding at the highs. Here we go. T3 moving averages again holding upside. We're in the green all across the board. 4-hour chart finding support here at the 50, holding above the 50 and the 200. Again, nice picture here. Again, it's about splicing in. We're pretty much flat on emerging markets. Again, we'll have to look for another opportunity. If you're on the emerging markets, EEM, you hold upside here because price action has not failed you yet by crossing downside. Holding on the intraday in the green is supporting the upper move, and that's exactly what you're looking for on the other trends as well. So great move on the emerging markets as we look at this each week. Again, the earlier entry was way back, but now you have a pullback here. This might be an opportunity to enter back to the upside. Taking a look at USO, again, do I have to tell you anything different? Everything's still to the downside. Current picture on the USO to the downside. And a gold, shadow trader splicing in. Nice move. Again, you can see gold to the upside. There it is, gold to the upside. Again, nice move breaking above the T350. Even though we just closed out the gap there. That's right, there was an open gap there, and that was a possible entry. I confirm that. Nice setup. Again, gold a little bit earlier entry would have been back here probably last week. All right, let's wrap up quickly with the Euro USD. Again, same picture as we see on the 6E every day. Again, holding here, price action upside. And then taking a look at the Japanese yen as it continues to chop downside after that stimulus package that wasn't to everybody's liking and still holding to the downside. Again, numerous opportunities to splice into the yen as she continues to hold to the downside. All right, so it's current momentum downtrend. As we head out the week, look to the jobless claims for tomorrow and into Friday non-farm payroll. That concludes an insight into the state of the indices and the daily trend. Feel free to stop by at tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My trading mantra, one simple strategy, any market, any chart, any time frame will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at TradingFibs. And as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only trade what's in front of me on my charts. And as always, leave your buys at the door when trading. Hey guys, have yourselves a Blue Zone day. If you're interested in coming into the trading room, email me, David at TradingFibs.com. Good day, good night, and good trading to you.